There we go. I'm recording Conan Exiles. Back after quite a ways of eating and bug fixing with Mike. I'm currently raiding the jungle's equivalent of Iron Mountain.
You're raiding the jungles. What about Iron Mountain?
The jungle's equivalent of Iron Mountain.
Oh, right, right. I'll have to see where you are once I kill this bird, because I've been killing the birds for some levels. And I already need to, at some point, get the admin power to undo the accidentally chosen perks. Because I put perks in a bunch of perks into strength, and I forgot I didn't want to put them into strength actually yet. I was trying to put them into something else, and I fucked up.
Ow! That didn't do much damage, but nonetheless did surprise the shit out of me.
What happened to you?
I got fucking donkey punched by a panther.
Oh, well that'll do it.
Start playing the boss music. He's not doing much damage, though. He's also not a boss.
I would think a panther would fuck you up bad at this point. Apparently not.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk away. Hang on, let me get the last of this iron.
Okay. Can I turn on the admin powers? I got killed because I wasn't paying enough attention. I took up the bedroll after placing it, and I respawned all the way back at my cross.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it the same password?
Should still be monkey,
Same.
yeah.
Okay. We don't have to worry about
That one I didn't change.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I grabbed some iron. Am I level 10? I am level 10. Okay, I can get myself the blacksmith knowledge. Excellent.
Well, I need to see where you're at, see where this other Iron Mountain is.
Yeah, I can take you up there in a little bit as well. But I'm running back to the little thing I built, and I'm gonna put down a furnace, finally, get us some very basic iron. The first 50 iron, of course, has to go towards just making the blacksmith bench, but nonetheless.
Yeah. That all makes sense. Kind of a brief setback, but it's worth it, obviously. Iron's a pretty major, I mean, we've talked about it before. Iron's a pretty major, you described it as a game changer, which it really is.
Yeah. I mean, gathering plant fibers right now when we have to do it is just like, oh. Let me grab each individual piece off the bush.
Uh-huh. That's pretty awful. My poor hot corpse. We were talking about a couple things, and I said I wanted to make sure that I addressed all of them so I don't forget. The other thing, really quick, was Earthbound. One of the other features that I really loved about Earthbound was another thing, like we've said, that I'm surprised has never been stolen. Was if you cast or if you get hit really hard in that game, your health starts to roll down on like the rotary dial or whatever. But if
it's a ticker.
It's a ticker that actively scrolls down dynamically in real time, and if you can heal yourself before it ticks down like super far or whatever, you could stop the damage from accruing, which is super cool. That was such a good idea. It's like you could quickly be like, oh no, stop it. You can stop taking full damage if you heal before the ticker fully ticks down to whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Super cool idea.
That is really cool. I'm just not at a point enough in the game where that's actually a noticeable mechanic.
Do you have the female character yet? I can't. You get her in Onad, I think, or maybe it is Tucson.
No, you get her in Tucson.
Okay. Yeah, she's the first one.
Yeah, I'm sitting like, for a good stretch there, you're like 50 or 75 health, and you're fighting, random street thug, dealt 20 damage.
Yeah.
And it just goes down more or less instantly, so there's not anything you can do about it.
Yeah. That sounds about right. The final thing I wanted to talk about was Zelda. You brought up Zelda, and I was just going to mention that in Zelda, I was going to say that series is. I've noticed. I did not know. I had to look it up. I did not know that the Scrub Lord's tune was the tune to a character in. I think it was wasn't the Wind Waker.
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword is okay. I can't remember if maybe you're the one who actually told me that specifically. I could swear that I looked it up on my own, but I don't want to say that I did because my memory is horrible. You probably actually told me specifically, like, yeah, that tune from blah blah blah. Wait, that's a yeah. In fact, I think we did have that conversation, didn't we?
Yeah.
You were the one who told me what it was. Okay. Yeah. When I went and looked it up, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What is that character's name? I almost want to call him Gronk, but I know that it's not Gronk because Gronk was the dude from Emperor's New Groove.
Really?
Yeah. Gronk was Patrick Warburton's character in the Emperor's New Groove.
and that's also like that weird football player or something as well, right? Gronkowski or something.
Gronkowski, yeah.
Okay, not to be confused with the Gonk, which is the theme from the end of Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
Yeah, it's for some reason called the Gonk. Um, Whatever character it is from Zelda, I noticed when I went and watched the video, I was disappointed that whenever like it would cut like to Link having a reaction or whatever, or some character nearby like looking at him or whatever, then it would cut back to the guy again, and every time it would cut back to the guy in question, this we'll just call him Gronk for the moment. Every time it would cut back to Gronk, he'd be making like
Bruce.
a what?
Bruce.
Groose? It
Bruce
is
was his
Groose.
name.
It is.
Bruce.
You're right. It is Groose. I remember that now. Yes, you're totally right. Such a weird name, Groose. Um, Whenever it would cut back to Groose, he'd have like this still static expression on his face. Let's say, for example, it would be like I don't know, like sort of a confused face. They would have this audio whenever it would cut to him, like I guess presumably to indicate that it was coming from him, but it would be the single note. It would be like again confused face, and he'd be like, huh? And then let's say it cuts back to Link, and then it cuts back to him smiling. Now the smile would be accompanied by ha 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 ha. It was like so Japanese. It was like super super Japanese style to where the character had to have like an emote, like he would have to make a noise every time the camera cut to him, and it started getting on my nerves so fast because the old Zelda games weren't like that. I think it started to sort of get like that with Ocarina. I think even in like
Ocarina definitely started to push into that territory with the way of the dialogue being in that way in that game.
yeah, I mean because all the games had dialogue going all the way back to Zelda 2 in particular. Zelda 2 had like actual like brief quote you could call them conversations, I guess. They were one-sided, whatever, but they were actually like several sentences long. And even then, obviously, we're talking about the old Nintendo, the NES, when they couldn't have like voice sample. Well, they could, but they didn't in that particular case. But even then, they didn't have like even just like sound effects or anything. When you talk to a character, it would bring up like a menu, like it wouldn't make like a character stand in like voice sound sample. And I just noticed that with this Groose character, it was doing it like every time the camera would cut back to him, like he was like he was making so much fucking noise is how the only way I can describe it, and it was just driving me nuts. And again, it just seems so overly like specifically Japanese, and it just I hate to go on this tangent again, and I'll stop after I say this because I don't want to go on a tangent again. But it's kind of like, man, is even Zelda getting away from me now too? It's like it's taken on this whole new kind of tone that it just didn't used to have before, and I'm noticing that all the Zelda games are like that now. And like you said, maybe it started with Ocarina, and I just didn't notice because that's about when I stopped playing the games. Actually, it was Ocarina. Never played Majora's Mask all the way, and that was the last one. I don't know.
I've not played Skyward Sword. I haven't seen much footage of it. My understanding is that the point of Groose is that he's kind of an annoying asshole jock character. And kind of a dope.
It's not that though. It's the usage. It's the I would always say the abuse of character. It's not dialogue and it's not sound effects. Again, it's like it's a stand-in. God, there's a word for it and I can't think of it. Just every time he made an expression, there would be a sound sample accompanying that expression.
Yeah.
Every time the character changed his face in any way, like it had to be accompanied with a rah, ha, ha, kind of noise or something. And it just seems so fucking corny and overdone to me. I don't think that I can't think of another example. I know there is one. I think there's probably plenty, but I know it's not exclusive just to that character. It's like a Zelda thing. It might even be a Mario thing as well. I haven't played a Mario game in a long time. And it's fine. It's not like it's anything that I think is like makes the game bad or anything. I'm sure there's still great games. I used to love Zelda. It's just a thing that I don't know why they added it. I don't know why it's there. I don't know. Weird game decisions. I just don't understand. They get obsessed with weird things, just like all the Japanese characters in action games all have to do the 3-point football stance, and that drives me up the fucking wall.
That's just, the 3-point stance is now just a thing in many mediums.
You said
now.
that, yeah. You said that it's almost like become its own like.
Fucking Iron Man does it in every single Marvel movie.
Is it just that everyone just thinks it's that cool?
I don't know. It's enough of a thing that Deadpool was taking the piss out of it as much as it could in the first Deadpool movie.
They were actually making a joke out of it. They were making a mockery of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good for Deadpool. Good, good. I need to see that movie.
Okay, I'm coming up on you so I can lead you up to Iron Mountain of the Jungle.
Yeah, I've just been kind of dicking around down here, just running from and or facing various beasts.
Getting a slight drizzle up here.
Yeah, I was going to mention this earlier, actually. When you were doing one of the things you were doing, I think it might have been getting the food or whatever. I was going to point out, I was doing some commentary, some solo commentary, and I said that, you were totally right. When this area is not saturated with rain and dark, it's really, really pretty.
Yeah.
What's this thing doing? Just gonna stand there? All right.
I don't. It's trying to chase after you, but it keeps. It's almost like playing like a Boo in Mario, where it stops when you look at it.
Kind of was. Got stuck on something, just as I just got stuck in it. Haha, can't get me in the water. I'm gonna fight like a bitch.
You stupid idiot.
You idiot.
You dumb dumb.
You dum-dum. Oh, I guess the water's
Say
shallow
it more
enough.
slow.
You
dumb
dumb.
dumb.
I was riding it for a second.
Oh, I was stuck inside its asshole.
I hate when that happens with these rhino-type creatures. That's actually killed me on occasion.
Yeah, I remember that was an issue we were having with the boss level rhino, yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened with the elephant at one point as well. The big elephant, the boss elephant, gray legs, or whatever the hell the thing was called, I can't remember.
The boss elephant was...
Something
Thunderfoot.
What was it? Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot. We had something with feet.
Alright, we've killed the lizard rhino. He doesn't give any more XP than the shoe bill.
Oh, okay. I wish I would have known that ahead of time. I was about to say, yeah, we didn't get anything for that, but okay. Get some goodies out of him.
Exotic flesh. Four exotic flesh.
That's all? You
Four.
I got more out of that antelope I killed earlier. Jeez. I'll learn for next time, I suppose.
The only way that could get better is if I somehow pulled a middle finger out of it.
You have harvested the rhino's middle finger.
Boy, I wonder what the description is for this.
Just simply fuck you.
The rhino makes its protests known in death.
That would actually be kind of cool. You'd have to sort of respect a creature that does that.
Yeah.
Bedroll stupid. Oh, no, I get it. Bedroll stupid.
That's the one message I have set right now.
It's fine. It's a good message now that I know that the bedroll won't... It's not a cursed bedroll. It's a cursed slot, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess that's good in the sense that it is avoidable once you know what it is.
Oh, we go... Hang on,
That's fine. We'll find it.
Right, it's over here. It's over here.
Is anything still harvestable, or did you get everything already out of it?
The iron... Oh, like I said, it's the Iron Mountain of the East. It's plentiful.
There's plenty.
I wound up leaving. Yeah, I only wound up leaving because I made one of the Panthers mad, but the Panthers are definitely easier to sneak around than the Iron Noses were back at Western Iron Mountain.
All right.
Shoebill, you will die, fool!
I'm taking this one.
Well, they're both trying to go for
Oh, they
you.
both want me. Stupid birds. Why are you doing that to me?
I will take your soul! Wait, that was the last character.
Alright. I see where we're at. This is an easy spot to remember.
Yeah. None of them gave eggs, you sons of bitches. Not that eggs are any use at this point, but...
Yeah.
Still, I want eggs.
Any particular reason?
No.
Fair enough. Straightforward honesty.
That's a pink bit. I just did a pink bit.
You kind of did. And it's just crossing.
All right. Welcome to the Eastern Iron Mountain. I've already taken... There's a bunch of iron rocks right here on our right, but I already took them.
Oh, okay. Let me grab out my
There is a
stone.
panther somewhere around here watching this
I
spot,
see
but...
when he's in the middle of the clearing down there, basically. He's currently stationed.
Yeah.
See him? Yeah. I'll just roam around until I find some iron that's not near the panther. Oh, here's another one. Another panther, that is.
I think this is the one I pissed off earlier.
Say that we could or couldn't take him. I don't recall. It sounded like you handled him pretty well, but it wasn't worth it.
I just decided to not bother fighting him,
Ah.
but I think realistically we could, especially us together.
Do you want
shit.
to? It's up to you.
He's turning around, so he's probably gonna see us in a second anyways. Oh, well.
Yeah, he's...
Eh.
Nope. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh. Oh,
Ah.
where is he going?
That's a good question.
You fool!
He wants nothing to do with us.
That's it, I'm attacking in the other direction.
I hate fighting
where-
with the club.
He's just pouncing in
Yeah,
random directions.
he's going all over the place. I'm having a hard time hitting him.
He's going nuts!
Sorry, feline critter. You kind of started it, though. We were debating letting you go.
Yeah?
You can go ahead and take him. I don't harvest at the moment. I mean, in other words, I'm not currently harvesting anything. I don't harvest at the moment is a weird way of saying it.
Well, you know me, I don't harvest.
I don't harvest at the moment, no less. That's
Yeah.
oddly specific. Yeah.
Like the fucking Islanders in Game of Thrones. Put that on your embroidery. It's not we do not sow. It's we do not harvest at the moment.
At the moment specifically.
Make sure there's a period in between. We do not harvest at the
At
moment.
the moment, yeah. Pause at the moment.
So you know, we thought we'd add more to the embroidery to explain, but there just wasn't enough room.
Yeah. We're just so we decided we're not doing it right now.
We are considering potential future economic investments. Just didn't. It just a bit too much.
Bad time.
We are lacking for quality skinning knives at the moment. Didn't fit either.
that's pretty long. That would be kind of hard to fit on some embroidery. You'd have to have a long tapestry.
Oh, and just to make things clear. Oh, did you eat raw meat?
No, I actually did. Yes, I was trying to throw it away. How'd you know?
Because there's a little poison icon above your health meter.
Oh, yeah, I pressed the wrong button. I went to pitch it, actually. Same with this one here. There we go. Oops. Yeah, throw that away, and throw that away. Yeah, just some human flesh, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm soon...
No, I can't judge you for that.
Yeah. Well, later I'll be doing it on purpose. But for now, nah.
So, in the center of the Eastern Iron Mountain, you can tell there's this kind of Lemurian temple that turns into a little bit of a sinkhole.
Let me look. It's hard for me to see now.
I think we can get closer without alerting anybody.
We've been there before, I think, haven't we? Have we been there in the last game? I don't recall. Let me... I have a spare torch, actually. Let's see. That didn't help a whole lot.
So we can look down into here, and this... Yeah, this is the easternmost of the pirate camps.
This is a pirate camp?
Yeah, crazy.
Wow, I wouldn't have assumed.
Yeah, they're a bit away from home, huh?
Yeah, a bit away from water, no less. Oh, wait, I have been here. You can get... I think this is where I said that there was a passageway to get in here that you weren't aware of. It's over there on the right-hand side where the... Looks like a little tributary just coming off the end of the island that we're on.
Yeah, there's like kind of a watery underground tunnel.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I've been here then. Go on.
And down there is also the only spot in the game besides the Jawbone that you can mine for silver ore.
Oh, shit. So here's where you go. Okay. I never knew that.
This or the Jawbone. The Jawbone's a lot more profitable, but this place also has better thrall spawns.
Okay. Yeah, the jawbone's also well, you'd have to go pretty deep for it, but that's where that scorpion monster boss was that I was fighting earlier today.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
It was I was at it for about probably 7 or 8 minutes with two thralls with me. It was some
It
effort.
is absurdly
It
tanky.
was a super tank. That it was. Thing was a fucking beast.
See, we got a few more iron deposits around here.
Yeah, I'm not yet over encumbered. I was for a moment, then I dropped some crap and was able to get more.
I'm coming pretty close, but I should be able to carry a few more with me.
I think enough to definitely make up a good selection of tools and weaponry by the time we get back.
Yeah.
Oops.
And no matter what, the first thing we prioritize is iron pickaxe, so that when we come back here, we can get even more
Getting
iron.
more, right?
Where the hell does this lead?
I was wondering. Just a passage? Just a neat little passage? Yep, that's it. Just a fun little
Yeah,
thing.
a little cliffside here, yeah.
I like stuff like that in games. Just neat little areas that don't really have any purpose, but they're fun nonetheless. Although, yeah, you could
Be a neat,
fall to your death here. Neat what?
would be a neat place to build a house.
Yeah, a neat little overlook. You want to build a little temporary thing here? We have some stone.
I don't. Might come back here later, though.
Yeah, maybe next time, at least in the light.
Could be a neat place to put down an elevator.
There's that ambition already. No,
Well,
you're
today,
right. Yeah,
as
got a
long
big
as we
cliff,
spread
so-
it around.
Yeah. No, I'm just teasing you on this one.
Yeah, we spread it around, and also we cheat in the finer building materials, because holy shit, none of us is going to do that again.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. In all practicality, we're making videos. If we were just playing this by ourselves, maybe if we wanted to spend hours just going out and getting all the materials, which again, sadly, I didn't know you were doing anyway, then that I could understand. But yeah, for a video,
I've already cut my teeth. I've already proved myself that I can do it.
yeah. I
I
think.
was mostly doing it once I was to level 60 anyway, so I wasn't gaining XP either.
Oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really is
Yeah.
over.
Oh, hello! Let's talk about this. No, okay. Not a conversational panther, I see.
Yeah, I'm running.
Hoping I got one of them talking panthers.
Yeah, the talking ones are really nice.
Apparently throwing spears provide cripple. That's good to know. Oh, where's he going? Where is this panther going?
Is it jumping all over the
Oh,
place like the last one was?
No, he just ran off.
Oh, he had enough of you.
No more.
The one that's on me is following me all across the damn jungle. Haha. I eluded
They're
you.
strange creatures.
Yeah, this one sure is acting strange.
Ow!
Are you?
Kishi bump.
Oh, are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, but I took a Kishi bump.
Yeah, happens to the best of us.
The best of us are a Kishi.
Well, now was he? When you say Kishi bump, this whole time I've been thinking that you meant that like you're the recipient of a Kishi bump, as in like he'd jump on you with his ass, right? Or he would
No,
knock you on your ass. That's what it is.
no, the Kishi bump is a OSW review term.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that. I have not seen that episode, I guess, or at least whatever one originated it.
So it is specifically in reference to, I think it was a moment JBL gave Rikishi the clothesline from hell, though it would have been back in his Bradshaw APA days.
Yeah.
And Rikishi took the clothesline by, in one very smooth, quick motion, turning with the lariat, like doing a 180, turning with the lariat, and then also diving forwards and doing kind of a front flip onto his back.
Oh, I think he did something super similar to that in an earlier Royal Rumble, like in the 90s when he was Fat 2. I remember
Yeah.
one of the Islanders and or Samoans did this crazy awesome. It was the response to I think a lariat. And he like did like a midair somersault. It was fucking crazy. I mean, that guy got air.
I believe that's why it's called the Kishi bump, as Kishi, despite being a bigger guy, loved to take that insane bump as response to some guys' finishes.
Oh, that would make sense then. I just thought you called it that. I didn't know. Well, obviously you and OSW review. I didn't know that was kind of like a common term for him, or even that it was a common habit of his. But it sounded like it was. I don't think I was aware of that.
Well, you know, the USW review guys have been able to kind of build a lot of. There's been a lot of wrestling vernacular that has left them, like one that, in particular, now even some commentators say Brett's rope.
What is it?
Brett's rope.
Brett's row?
Brett's rope.
Brett's rope.
As
Okay.
in, yeah.
What's the story
Which,
there?
do you know what Brett always did when Brett would do the diving elbow drop? He always did it off the second rope, where everybody else did it off the top one.
I do remember that. Oh, so they would just call it Brett's rope because of that?
Yeah, and especially if anybody did a dive off the middle rope instead of the top rope, the OSW guys would always say, "Oh, you know, he's doing a Brett's rope elbow drop. He's doing a Brett's rope, you know, leg drop. Yada yada." You get the idea.
Oh, okay. As opposed to
Brett's rope
simply,
clothesline.
rather than just calling it the second rope. They
Yeah,
named it
yeah.
specifically Brett's. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Well, it's OSW, right? There's one episode. I remember there was one episode.
Oh, well, Brett's rope.
Where there was one episode where they were discussing something that had nothing to do with wrestling, but using wrestling terms anyways. And the real deep voice, slow talking one that usually has the stupidest takes. So in case you're not aware, I'm not so fond of that one. He very angrily just abruptly starts ranting like, "Why is it all gotta be fucking wrestling? Why can't we just talk like normal people? Why does it all be fucking wrestling?"
To which I can only assume they were like, "What's the wrestling show, mate?
Yeah.
What do you want?"
That or they just started laughing at him, because the OSW guys aren't the kinds to take something like that and, like, actually engage it as a serious thing.
Right.
They just laugh at him, right?
Right. I do remember. I don't know why I'm yawned. I should be wide awake. I guess I am. Just for some reason, I think it's the position. Yeah, I've read that it's often more the position you're in anything. I'm in a reclined position and have been for a while. I need to sit up a bit. But I do remember that the one that we talked the slow.
Not often you catch me yawning on recording.
There you go. That's right. Actually, yeah, you're always standing up. I should do more of that. Maybe not as much as you do because I'm not insane, but yeah, you probably have some strong ass legs by now.
Oh, yeah, runs in the family there, that does.
Some good kicking legs.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also remember the slow one as being. I guess I don't remember him as being necessarily the least funny. I'd have to hear them again to really get a feel for that.
He's definitely the least funny.
Is he like? How does he stand out that way? What is he like? Can you give me an example of the kind of dumb stuff he does or says?
I mean, he just, for one thing, he just doesn't say very funny things very
Oh,
often.
well, that'll do it.
Like, he's definitely the least vocal of the three.
I was gonna point that.
And
out.
whenever he speaks up, he's just like, "Oh, I don't know, I didn't like this." Or notoriously at one point, and this is one thing that Ted has pointed out because he was just so thoroughly disgusted with it. At one point, he said during a video, I don't care about any of this psychology, storytelling business. I just want to see cool moves in the ring."
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have liked that either.
And Ted pretty well posted it as a thing of like, well, Ted vocally likes the OSW guys, but Ted nonetheless posted it as a, like, this guy, like, the one out of the OSW guys you should never listen to is this fucking one.
Understandable. Yeah, that's totally understandable, I think.
Well, like, he rarely ever says something funny. He does have a few good funny lines he's said down the years. But, like, he usually doesn't. He usually just kind of says things as they are. He doesn't join in on jokes all too often. He doesn't laugh. Like, the other two are willing to laugh it up, and that adds to the fun factor of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I was gonna say I don't remember him really ever laughing. I'm sure he has, but like in my head I can hear the other ones laughing and I hear just like silence coming from him.
Yeah, and like, it's one of those funny cultural things. They're the stereotypes of what dumb people, quote unquote dumb people, sound like. Is like, for instance, you know, SpongeBob over here in the West, Patrick speaks slowly and with a deep voice. Hey, SpongeBob.
Right.
You get the idea.
I'm dopey.
But the Japanese dub, as an example of cultural difference, in Japan it's the other way around. They think that if you speak with a high-pitched voice and you speak rapidly, that means you're a dumbass.
Interesting. I didn't know that. They've actually so does SpongeBob sound slow and dumb?
I think SpongeBob. The clip I saw comparing them was specifically like Patrick got turned into like, "Hey SpongeBob, you want to go do this?"
Wow.
You get the idea, right?
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I guess it's just Western standards, at least they're the English language. We assume people who speak low and slow are dumb, and OOC kind of fits that stereotype.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. The way that works. Just how that wound up turning out that way.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like, I want to say it's like, honestly, a really simple differing standard is that in the West, we're like, well, he talks slowly because he thinks that fucking slow, right?
Are you talking about Patrick or the OSW guy? Oh, you
So I
mean
would say
generally
Patrick,
speaking?
I would say, like, the stereotype in the West is slow people that talk slowly are dumb because it takes them that long to think,
Yeah,
right? That's the logic behind it.
yeah.
Whereas I would say in Japan, they're generally, I mean, not to just act like I'm some fucking expert on Japan, but Japan values things like tradition, respect for your elders,
Yeah, that's
being
accurate.
disciplined,
That's true.
not rushing things. So in Japan, it's more so, you know, the wise are patient and take, people who are smart are patient and take their time. Idiots try to rush everything.
Okay. That does make sense, actually. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah. It's just weird how differences like that occur.
It is. I have to watch the Japanese SpongeBob now.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ted,
Oh, the best ever.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the best ever is Japanese King of the Hill.
Couldn't even imagine. How does
I've
that
seen,
work?
I have seen one clip where, you know, Hank and Kevin, who the fuck is
Kevin.
Kevin?
That's
No,
in Japan. Bobby is known as Kevin for some reason. Kevin, do
Hank,
do. Need to see oil,
Hank,
Dad. Oh, Kevin. Sorry, go on.
Hank,
Look it off.
Hank and Dale and Bill are sitting, you know, behind the, you know, where they always sit in that little alley where they're drinking beer.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what any of them sound like in Japanese, but I distinctly remember Boomhauer then drives up in some sports car, rolls down the window, and then shouts out, "Eh, Hank!" That was just perfect.
Yeah, that actually is pretty great. For Boomhauer of all people. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice, simple, slow. Yeah, totally Boomhauer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I definitely have to
Oh,
check it out.
that's funny. Then we led from the Patrick thing, because then that's like a perfect example of like, oh, they can't do Boomhauer in Japan because they will think he's the biggest dumbass ever.
Um,
Because
yeah,
he is the peak of speaks way too fucking quick.
I don't know how that would work then. I mean, I obviously they did it somehow. I'd like to know how and what they did. I'd have to watch the episodes to see.
Well, the most disappointing would be if he just talks like a normal
I'm
person,
kind of
right?
thinking he almost would have to because of what you just described. It's almost like they would have to kind of split the difference and just have him just talk like a regular guy, just like no,
Yeah.
you know, just like that.
Yeah, but that just wouldn't be
Oh, it would, yeah,
Boomhauer.
yeah.
That'd be
I mean,
so
it would kill the
strange.
character. That's for sure. I mean, I even like if they did a literal translation of the dialogue, which I don't know if they do, but if they did, I don't even see how talking in that cadence would even correctly, express what Boomhauer's actually even saying or trying to communicate. Because so much, you know, damn, what he says, man, what happens, you know, man, blah blah blah.
It's a regional thing so
It is. It
much.
really is. Yeah, I'm surprised the show's even translated
Uh,
at all because of the regional difference.
like that's a gag that even like, you know, I could see the English would laugh at it because that's somewhat what they stereotype all Americans as being, but like then for instance take that to, I don't know, let's say, would Jamaica have that stereotype of Americans?
I don't know. I would kind of not think so. I
Because that's again like I'm just going with like, well, what's an English speaking country other than America or England?
right.
But like,
What about like something like what about like Australia? You know, like
yeah.
yeah, I like I don't know if that would sound foreign to them or natural. Like you said, it's so regional and it's so specific. It's like an odd tick. Like how does a tick translate over to a foreign language? Or does it even?
Yeah, sometimes they do that like very liberally. Like, what's the word? Like, some people will refer to old David Massick, I think,
Don't know who that
or
is.
no, Woolsey.
Woolsey.
Oh shit, Woolsey, right? Was the guy that did the translations of Final Fantasy, right?
I don't even know, to be honest. I could not tell you. Woolsey.
Like David Woolsey, I believe, was the translation guy for Final Fantasy, and he's notorious. Well, not notorious, that implies bad, but he's famous for generally being pretty liberal with his translations, but in ways that generally worked out and made for more iconic characters.
Oh, okay. Is he like famous for the Spoony Bard thing? Is that like a thing of his? Because that's
I don't
famous.
know if that was. I don't know if that was his, but he did the translation of FF6, and famously, in America, Kefka is viewed as possibly the best Final Fantasy villain, maybe tied with Sephiroth.
Those are the top two.
In Japan, they don't care about Kefka.
But
And
they do love Sephiroth.
They do, and it's largely because David Woolsey was very liberal in the way he translated Kefka. Kefka in Japan is legitimately straight up a joke character. Like, as in, not even vaguely played up to be threatening or sadistic or psychotic at
Oh,
all.
that sucks.
Up until he pushes the statues, and then he's suddenly like, I am the destroyer of all!
I mean, I would hope
so
once he became a god, they would respect him a little bit, yeah.
So Japanese FF fans view Kefka as like, well, just another villain. I guess he looks like a clown, but really, who cares?
Right.
Whereas in the States, we got pretty well a fantasy version of the Joker. So he stuck with people, you know?
Yeah, the Japanese, I don't know if they still are, but from what I've been able to tell, they really were very, very, like, oddly homophobic. Like, any character that exhibited, I'm not saying like the modern emo type of like long-haired sort of femboy type of thing that I don't like in Final Fantasy games, but like again like Kefka, he's wearing makeup, well, I mean they have their kabukis and everything like that over in Japan, but like a modern male character dressing in any way flamboyantly seemed to like really like kind of skeeve the Japanese out. Like they would mock him, they would make the character like especially weak, stuff like that. I wonder if that had something to do
Yeah.
with it. Like, oh, this guy,
I mean,
look at him. He's clearly gay. He's not masculine, at least. Let's make him a non-threat.
Yeah. Or like, we'll have them in here, like, we'll run with the all gay guys are rapists or pedophiles trope.
Yeah.
Because, hey, right?
That was a thing, yeah. Yeah, that was a fear.
It's
Even in America, that was
still a
fear.
thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I remember when Silence of the Lambs came out. It was lambasted for a while. People were like, oh, good. Another gay killer who's like this effeminate, transvestite. Like, he can't just be, whatever, like a normal gay guy. It has to be a serial killing rapist weirdo. That was an outcry. That was a big deal.
Oh, hell, back in the day, Psycho had Norman Bates, but then they specifically had the ending be a psychologist saying he's not transgender.
He was a man of two personalities, you see. That last movie you just watched that was an hour and a half before this scene, I'll explain it to you in this one moment here. Follow along as I guide you from point A to point Z.
You stupid fucks.
Yeah, exactly. For anyone paying attention, you're dumb, and I will educate you as to the movie you just watched so you don't walk away stupid, like you are. Yeah.
Look, I'm not making any, I have made no mistakes here. I fully know what audience I'm talking to here. Then again, to be fair, that was a point in time where the American audience was terrified of a toilet fucking flushing, so...
That was like the first movie to ever show a toilet, and it just blew people's fucking minds. They showed that! Go ahead.
I heard a rumor, that they, that Hitchcock and, Jamie Lee Curtis's mom, help me here.
Oh, the main character. Oh, fuck.
Yes.
I know her name, and I can't think of it. I know exactly who you're talking about. The main character. Fucking,
Yeah.
Oh, God, what is her name? Oh, God, if this were Jeopardy, I'd lose, because the time limit.
Oh.
I know precisely who you're talking about.
Is her
It's not Curtis. It's not Curtis.
Janet Lee.
Yes.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis has the middle name of Lee.
Yes.
Because Janet wanted to name her daughter her own last name as a middle name to keep the last name going.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, Janet Lee. I heard a rumor, and we all know rumors are true.
They always are.
I heard a rumor that Alfred Hitchcock and Janet Lee filmed a scene expressly just for the cut that would be sent to the MPAA. What, did the MPAA even exist back then?
I think some form of it did. I mean, like, there was some
Whatever.
regulatory board. I'm just not sure if it was called the MPAA.
In that time, I'm sure it would have been called something. You know, the '50s being the '50s, I'm sure it would have been called the Board for Good Family Health and Familial Norms.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Alternative name: Board to keep the queers and the coloreds out of
That sounds
movies.
about right. Yeah, that was their big thing. I mean, that was what they were all about. Yeah, I could buy that. The Board of Decency.
And it occurs to me I just said that on recording, but whatever. I was saying it making fun of racists and
Yeah, I
homophobes.
mean,
If
this
you
is another thing to where it'll take either I'll put it this way: if the algorithm catches every example of the word queer, I can't even imagine how all gay themed
if it
videos.
does, then I can tell you that right off the bat, it runs into a lot of problems by videos made by gay
That's
people.
what I was just saying. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna jump on everybody who uses that word, we were just talking about this recently. That word is like in common usage now as a positive thing. So that I can only assume would cause problems. And the other alternative would be that somebody would have to report this right now. And if they're reporting it, surely they would have to be so far into these videos that they have to know that we are not homophobic. I mean, if somebody reports
And not
this,
only that, this would be a very simple one to explain to YouTube's reporting
yeah.
board, saying, I am making fun of 1950s racism and homophobia.
Yeah, we're making fun of the very thing that we would potentially be being reported for. So yeah, I can only hope that we'd be all right. I would take I would think it would take a real jerk to report something like this. So if you report us, you are a jerk.
And by saying that, you guarantee that some guy who is otherwise bored, like, well, now I'm
Yeah, now I'm
gonna
gonna do
I'm
that.
an asshole.
You think I'm a fucking jerk?
And while he's doing it, he's taking his pants off.
Can't explain that.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite part.
Rubbing himself with peanut butter, excited over the fact that somebody called him a jerk. In passing, indirectly.
Oh, that's not what I heard the peanut butter was for perverts.
I don't know. I like the idea of them rubbing themselves with it. To me, that's so funny.
Oh
So
no,
pathetic.
okay, yeah, okay, there's some trucker secrets there you don't need to know about.
Oh, no, I mean, I can only imagine, but that's just it. I want to only imagine and not actually know the truth. I'm better off.
My dad working as the guy who runs a shop that truckers have to come into every time, you know, any of them wanted to shake his hand, he'd be like, well, no. I'm not fucking stupid.
Yeah, nothing personal, just no.
I refuse, sir.
That's very upfront, but very polite. You have to respect that. Sir, thank you, but no. Not interested.
I do not like this.
Do not want, even.
Do not want.
Oh, before I forget, where are you, by the way? We separated a while back, and I've just been slowly making my way back to the general area that we used to call home. Where are you?
I am back at the place where I put up the little house. I've set up some very basic smithing.
Oh, I
gear.
should have stuck around there to give myself some smithing stuff. I'm too far away now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I had.
When we were first playing, like, I think it was nice for us to somewhat stick together, just partly because you and Pink, and to a lesser degree soon, we're all a little bit babes in the woods, but...
Yeah, back then, oh yeah.
But now you're definitely in the space where you can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, okay. Alfred Hitchcock
Oh, yeah,
and
the toilet.
Janet Leigh. Yeah, there we go. We got so lost in the discussion about my little stupid side joke about the existence of 1950 censorship boards that, right, so I heard a rumor, which sounds like bullshit, but nonetheless, I heard a rumor. Do you mind if I turn off building stability?
Turn it. Oh no, I'm not building at the moment anyway.
Okay, I'm turning off building stability. We decided to go without it at the end.
Yeah,
of the
I
anyways.
personally prefer it that way myself, but yeah, it's good to ask around, see what everybody thinks, I guess.
Yeah. But
Sorry, I was mumbling to myself. Go on.
supposedly there is a practice amongst filmmakers to send in a deliberately over-the-top first cut to the censorship board that features, like, egregious nudity and language, so that they will then give a pass to whatever you want in.
I've heard that from several filmmakers, actually. That's apparently a real thing.
And supposedly Alfred Hitchcock first sent in a cut of Psycho where Janet Leigh spends at least one scene topless, specifically so they would cut that in favor of keeping the toilet flush.
I didn't hear that, but wow, that's actually surprising because my memory, I could be wrong about this because my memory is what it is. I read that she was, oh fuck, okay, no, I don't feel confident enough to say this. I was gonna say that she was a stunt double, I thought, for the shower scene, but I'm remembering now that no, I think I heard otherwise. So I'm not gonna stand firmly behind that. Point being that
Well, I would bet it wouldn't be the shower scene, because you remember the movie more or less starts with her and her,
yeah, the other guy,
the guy she's sleeping with,
yeah,
and she's specifically only wearing a bra on
yes,
top, which back then was, even that was like scandalous,
yes,
you know?
yeah. I mean, if they couldn't show a toilet without a problem, they're not gonna show a bra without a problem.
Yeah, and I can imagine, I can only imagine in the theaters, no, Richard, don't look!
Hiding their spouses and children's eyes. No, no, this is just too much. I don't know why they sound like that, but
They just do.
back then people were kind of mildly British because they were stuffy
Yeah?
and stuck up. So naturally, that's just how it works.
Yeah, the more of an ass you are, the more British you sound.
That's true, and all you British people out there, take it. That's what you get for being British.
Eat shit. You dumb
You
fucks.
dumb British bastards. Poor British people. I have nothing against British people that I'm aware of.
I have something against one British person in particular.
Do you actually?
Yes.
You say that as if I should know, and I probably should, but I'm drawing a blank.
Continue drawing the blank. I will not elaborate.
Okay. Oh, some bad blood there with you and this particular person. I hope that they don't know about it, otherwise they have an enemy. Maybe they should know.
Not bad blood, just annoying.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It happens.
There we go. I have an iron sickle. No longer will I have to gather plant fiber with my own two hands like a peasant.
That is pretty... I mean, when you think about it, that's like some sub-Vietnam type of stuff. Picking the fabric of plants with your bare hands, just taking out little pieces. One per. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, hell, the jungle biome very clearly looks a lot like Vietnam.
It really does. Yeah, I always got that read.
And, though, minus the, landmines that were just left behind by the American military and sometimes blow up farmers.
Yeah,
Though that would also be a shock.
that's fine. That's perfectly fine. We did everything right, like we do in all wars. It's fine.
Yeah.
Talk about having a problem with other countries. Don't worry, folks. I have enough problems with my own. Don't worry. Are you kidding? I would live in Japan if I could help it.
Imagine if you could step on a landmine in Conan, though.
That'd be very surprising. With everything else going on in the game that, you would expect, and then suddenly just like a modern mechanical marvel that's meant to explode you. That's like, whoa, okay, well, there's that too. I mean, they could pass it away as like being some kind of sorcery or whatever, but no, like literally just a straight up, like it actually says when you hover over it, Vietnamese landmine. What? Why?
Specifically Vietnamese.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be as funny otherwise. Yeah. I'd be amused.
With a little lore blurb on it that explicitly says, the Americans left this behind when they invaded Lemuria, Vietnam.
Why not?
We don't even know what to call it, we're calling them both.
Yeah, it works for me. I as long as I laugh, it's fine. It works for me.
And then a little quotation, like, when you look at the item description, they always include a little quotation from the books.
Yeah.
What the fuck quotation would they even go with for a landmine?
I'd like to think that they would literally, just for that one example, quote something from, like, I don't know, like some kind of actual Vietnamese, like, propaganda. Some actual real, like wartime paperwork of some kind of document. in Vietnamese, no less, not even translated. Why not?
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. We're the players.
That's what we were saying when we were leaving the landmines.
Fuck it. Someone will figure it out.
There's someone else's problem now.
Yeah, apparently so. Quite a problem at that.
You stupid fucks.
That's what we said when we left the landmines, you stupid fucks.
Yeah.
dumbasses not being able to see where a hidden landmine is that's going to blow them up before they even understand what's going on. Stupid.
Oh, there's a great scene with a landmine in True Detective.
I would not have imagined that. I wouldn't picture that True Detective would have had a landmine.
Oh yeah, don't worry, it surprised the person on the receiving end too.
Good, yeah. I hope that it will surprise me when I see it, because sooner or later I will get around to watching that. Heard nothing but good things. Got the gorgeous girl in it.
Yeah,
The other guys are good actresses, or good actresses. The other guys are good actors. It seems like it's got everything going for it.
yeah, that one's Alexander Daddario. Then season 2 has Rachel McAdams.
I'm trying to think if I find her hot or not, because I know I've looked her up before. She strikes me as alarmingly familiar. God, I feel like I just looked her up like a couple weeks ago. I know her from something. What movies has she been in?
She was famously Mean Girls. I think was the one where she got real big,
Hmm.
but big as in
Yeah,
stardom,
no,
not big as in size.
That's fine.
She's quite a small girl, but
It is worth clarifying, but yeah, I assumed. God, she has to
she
have
was
been something I saw.
also. In terms of a recent movie, there's no way you saw this, but she was in Game Night.
I don't even know what game night is now that you mention it.
Fun little comedy with Jason Bateman. Let me pull up her Wikipedia.
Yeah, because something
know
is.
she's got
Go on, go ahead.
Doctor Strange again, another one you wouldn't have seen.
Something has made me look her up though. I either saw her in something or somebody mentioned her name as being like super hot or super cool or something. Like I know I've looked her up trying to figure out who she was, and now I'm drawing a blank as to who she is.
Oh, the big one for a lot of people was she was the one of the two in the Notebook.
Oh, okay. She's blonde then, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's one attribute that I'm aware of, is that she's blonde. Okay, that's a start.
You did not see the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, right?
No, I did not.
Oh, you did watch Spotlight, right?
No, I have it, but I have not watched it. Yeah, I know. I heard the excitement in your voice that we'd finally found the key, but no, sadly, I've not watched it. Heard it was really good.
Okay.
I own a copy, but that's as far as I've gotten. I know her from something. I have to. Why else would I have looked her up? That's bothering me.
State of Play?
No, that only sounds vaguely familiar. Familiar, but only vaguely.
As you can imagine, after the Notebook, it looks like she did a lot of romantic comedies.
I would assume so, yeah. I was just killing one of those thralls that used to spawn. We blocked it off really quickly. There was a thrall that always would spawn outside our original base way back when we first started playing this game up on the
and he always drops medium armor.
Oh, good.
Or she.
Well, that works for me then. Because I was beating him up, and he was down to one attack left, and like almost out of nowhere, just like off a camera right, in came a crocodile and just killed him. I was just beating him up and like, oh wow, he's going down pretty easy, and then suddenly, rawr, and a crocodile just kills him, and he falls over dead.
My kill.
Holy shit! Yeah, he dropped medium armor. Fuck yeah! All right, nice, works for me.
Southpaw.
No, it's another one that I own but have not watched. I should watch these fucking movies. You know, I think that actually might be what I.
You look over your big arsenal of movies, and for some reason, it seems like they all have Rachel McAdams.
A bunch of them do, because I do own that one, and she is in it. And I've never watched it, so apparently I get all the Rachel McAdams movies, and then I just put them off in like their own separate Rachel McAdams section of my DVDs, and I just don't. I ignore that section then I don't watch them.
Okay, I've not found any, but I want to remark nonetheless on how strange this is. Or, well, no, it's not really that strange. It's actually perfectly. I almost said respectable, but no, predictable. There are 2 movies in Rachel McAdams' catalog where the front cover is her and another chick making out.
I have no problem with this.
I don't have a problem with it either, but that's just funny that. I mean, she's a good-looking woman by all means, and what do they call? What does OSW call it? Lesbian pollen.
Lesbian pollen. I have not heard this. I don't think, or at least not. I have not listened to OSW in probably about 3 years. To be fair, I'm super out of the loop. I loved them, just fell out of the loop.
OSW uses the term lesbian pollen to refer to when they have an angle in wrestling where they'll have 2 feet, like a angle that's entirely built around lesbians are hot.
Mm-hmm. Like with the Bellas. Like, hey, they're sisters, but they're both hot, and so they're touching on each other all the time, which again used to gross me out. And then I was like, actually, no, that's fine.
It's there was a big when I first joined the forum. There was a big fight between me and I don't know if you remember IDK.
I
In the
do.
day.
I remember the name. Yes, don't remember the personality, but I remember the acronym.
Me and him got into a big fight back in the day because he was quite a big Bellas fan, and I was seriously grossed out by them, and also I just thought they were crap. But I was also seriously grossed out by them because I'm generally grossed out by the twins fetish altogether.
That's understandable.
But we got into a big fight because I was saying, like, dude, it's like half the fucking point of every Bella segment.
Oh, was it? It was that
is
bad?
This, that, and another. At a few points, yeah, definitely not by like the end when they'd split them up and Nikki got like way bigger and Bree stayed the same size,
right.
But this would have been like 2011.
That sounds about right.
No, not 2011, probably 20. I joined, so it probably would have been late 2013. Okay.
To me, that's all about the same time. I mean,
yeah,
it's
more
as far as like my interest in the games and wrestling in general, like that's all kind of like a nebulous blur for me. That's all roughly about the same context. But anyway, go on.
Really, yeah, it was defined by the same elements. You're very
mostly
much
the same roster, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But either which way, that wound up being a fight me and him got into. And I think that's the only time I ever got a bit of disciplining.
Really?
At one point, something I said, but nonetheless.
Because that would have been the actual official.
At one point, I remember.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Yeah, this was back at THQ days.
Yeah.
Right? IDK was never on any of our.
I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't remember him being on any of those. Excuse me. Go on.
But Ted, I remember Ted specifically jumping in. This is back when I only knew Ted to be an asshole.
Because that's how it started.
Back then, I was a big Lesnar mark.
Oh.
And that was back when Ted was fiercely on the I despise Lesnar, and if you like him,
I was gonna say, yeah, if you would have liked Lesnar, he would have been just pissed at you just as a person in general at that time.
Yeah. But either which way, Ted then butted into pretty well say like, no, this new Braun kid's got a point. They are pretty. They're doing that, and it's pretty weird.
I mean, it is. It's not weird. I can't even explain, for example, why I am fine with it now. Like at the time, it just struck me as like, okay, that's weird. That's like legit incest. Why would two sisters want to do that? Now, it's literally, I cannot even say what changed. Now it's just like, well, it doesn't bother me. I wish I had a better explanation. I certainly think that it's unusual. Well, I don't know if it's unusual if men find it weird or not. I don't know. That seems like kind of a common kink now.
It does, and I don't like it.
It shouldn't be encouraged. Oh, see, to me, the schoolgirl thing is worse because then that's an innocent child. But I understand what you're saying, though. Yeah, it's unnatural.
I'm not like. There's definitely differing levels of severity there. It's. You know, obviously, I don't think incest is worse than pedophilia because there's a degree of consent there. I just think it's weird and gross, and I don't like it.
I know that I and other people I knew.
You know what's the worst for
What's that?
You know what's the worst example of it? Fucking Dead Rising 2.
Having played through that together with you, I should remember this. Oh, of course, those girls were sisters. That's right. Yeah, I forget that because one was blonde, the other one was dark-haired. But yeah, they were like just groping all over each other, like lifting their legs onto each other and shit. God. Like, hey Frank, want to come play with us in bed? It's like, okay.
Yeah, while they're actively molesting each other.
Yeah, it was completely on the nose. It was up the nose in that game. I'd forgotten about that. Like the first time you even see him.
Oh.
Every time you see him.
Yes. Yeah.
That's your introduction.
Every time.
Yep, it was every single time, all the way until they're dead.
Fucking Dead Rising 2, man.
Capcom's not very subtle about anything.
No, but that's the fucking problem. Capcom didn't make that one. They published it, but it was developed by a Western studio.
Wow, they did a good job making
Blue
a similar
Castle.
game. Wow, you probably told me that at the time. It's probably very apparent in the credits, but I don't remember that being the case. Interesting. Yeah, I have to say, I
remember pointing out to you, like, I pointed out to you that all the black survivors in that game are raging stereotypes.
Yes, I do remember that.
And I think I mentioned at first, every time I think of that, at first I'm like, oh, well, you know, they don't have black people in Japan. They only go off of American stereotypes. So I guess it's just like whatever. They don't, you know, they don't know. They don't see actual black people. But then I get reminded, no, wait, it was made by an actual black, actual black dev team. That would have put a different spin on it.
It was self-hating black.
Conveniently enough, the lead directors, the Wayans brothers.
A lot of things make more sense now.
But yeah, nonetheless, I remember, yeah, going like, no, wait, it's American devs.
That is weird.
No, Canadian. Excuse me, Canadian.
Oh, they were Canadian. Okay, well that explains it too.
Well, that explains it. Canadians are famously racist. Man, I've never looked into it much, but I hear a lot of people say the Canadians were worse than the Native Americans than the Americans.
Really? I thought you were joking just now.
I don't know how their racism issues are towards black people, but supposedly, yeah, I've heard a few people say, actually, when you look into Canadian history of interaction with Native Americans, they were worse towards them.
Oh. Huh. So, see...
So, America wins again! Yeah!
Anytime somebody says that I'm racist, I'll say, nah, not as long as Canada exists. I can't be that bad.
Those fuckers.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, Canada's got us beat for racism against the Native Americans. Mexico's got us beat for obesity. We're gaining by standing still,
yeah,
brother.
by not doing anything. We're winning by inertia. That should be like our national headline. America winning by inertia. By virtue of not trying, we succeed. That sounds American. I didn't know that Mexico was ahead of us in obesity. That actually surprises me. America's pretty fucking obese.
Yeah, Mexico's ahead of us, and pretty well everywhere in Polynesia.
Okay, Polynesia, yeah. I don't know if there is such a thing as a skinny Polynesian person. I wouldn't have it any other way.
The Rock, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what am I thinking? Yeah, The Rock. Well, but then again, you gotta look at that. He's one out of, like, 27 Anawais. And he's the only thin one.
The Usos.
They're thin? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, they are, I guess. Yeah, I don't pay attention to them enough to know, but yeah, in my mind they're doughy, but they're not big.
Definitely doughy,
but they're not obese. You're right. They're not like big old typical fat Samoan types.
No, not like their dad or Yoko.
Right. Yeah.
Or Rikishi and Yoko's dad, or his 3 cousins,
Rosie, Jamal, Umaga.
uncles,
Yeah.
their nephews, their grandpa, their great-grandpa.
Those are some fat genes. I have nothing against them. I like most of them. Just, they're fat.
I mean, like, I'm going to bet that at least half of Pink's, like, roster of all-time faves is made up of Anawais.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't know that he loved them all that much.
He loves big boys.
Wait, who did you say?
I said he loves big boys.
Who are you referring to? Who does?
Pink.
That's what I thought you said. He loves big boys. You stressed that. Like, what do you mean? Who like, what are some examples? I mean, other than Anawais. Like, is he known especially for like being a really big fan of like the Kali types or something?
No, not like giants. Actually, I don't think he's very pro-giant at all, but like, specifically fat.
He
fat
tends to
wrestlers.
really support the fat wrestlers?
Yes.
I didn't know that about him. I that's something I never really picked up on. Then again, I'm never talking to you guys about wrestling anymore, so I guess I wouldn't have known that.
If we ever get you to play Fire Pro, you'll know.
So he always picks the big fatties. Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Okay. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I loved Yoko back in the day. I thought. I mean, he was just so big and imposing. I thought he made one of those really super cool monster heels. Don't really know so much. Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
One of the best moving big men there ever was.
Yoko? Oh God, yeah. I mean, he could essentially do almost super kicks. He ran the ropes sometimes. He ran the ropes pretty often, actually. The guy was like literally like 500 plus pounds on the smaller end.
Yeah.
Bigger than that. So yeah. Yeah, I thought that he was really good at his job. I liked his push. I thought it was a good era of wrestling. I like that he was able to get the win over Hogan on the way out. Basically, Hogan was like, no, man, brother, that don't work for me to ever have to lose to anybody, brother. I don't want to lose to Bret Hart, brother. And so they're like, okay, well then you'll lose to Yoko then. And Yoko like kicked his ass. And
Yeah.
that was pretty much the end of Hogan for like the next decade for WWE anyway. Yeah, Yoko I really liked. I liked it when he teamed with Owen. I liked that dynamic. It was a fast, flippy, super gifted technical wrestler with a big, tough brawler type. That was. I loved everything about Yoko. I really, really liked him. I was very sad when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the time. I would say he was the top of that family, but now I'd have to say, I guess probably the Usos, or I guess Roman.
What? Roman, yeah. I think, like, in terms of legacy, looking back, of course people are always going to throw it on Rock, right?
I see. There I go, forgetting Rock again. Yeah, you're right. Go on.
I mean, it's debatable, though. It's like, okay, do we say the most significant Anoa'i within wrestling or without wrestling, right?
Oh, God, that's hard to say.
Because Rock never had Roman's run on the top.
Uh,
Rock had 3 or 4 years and then said, fuck this, I'm going to Hollywood.
And even when he was on top, he was always fighting with Stone Cold for popularity. He was never like
Stone
the
Cold
dictator.
Not just Stone Cold. There was like 4 or 5 people on top during the Attitude
Oh
Era.
yeah, Stone
like
Cold,
Rock's,
Triple H, Steve Austin, Undertaker.
I mean, Rock's famous best run was pretty well shared with Hunter, right?
I've heard that. I never watched it, but I've heard a lot of people say it was really good. Yeah.
I think I've heard it described as the peak of both their careers, though Ted oddly disagrees. I think Ted says that he thinks Hunter's best work was against Foley, of all people, who he despises
You know
otherwise.
what? I'm ready to punch Ted in the fucking face because I remember him saying both things exactly opposite. I fucking remember him saying that Triple H's best run, like his best work was with The Rock. Oh, people who poo-poo Triple H, they didn't watch when he was fighting The Rock. That was so good. He was setting the ring on fire. Blah 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 blah. Everyone loved it. And I remember him specifically saying that Foley was crap. Anyone who's in the ring with Foley is crap. And I remember specifically saying that when Mick Foley pointed out that he was upset to hear that Triple H dissed their work together, he kind of was like, well, I didn't really need Mick Foley. I was already doing well. Mick Foley was like, oh, that kind of sucks. I kind of thought I helped you out there a little bit by, letting you win all the time and blah, 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 blah. I remember Ted was like, oh, that's bullshit. Triple H never needed Foley. Foley's a sack of shit. He if anything, he brought Triple H's work down. So now to hear that he had the complete opposite take on both of those stances, that just...
See, now where he'll sit in between is by saying, no, I was right. There is no such thing as good Foley work, but Hunter was just at his peak then.
Which I guess, to be fair, that could be argued. But yeah, that's Ted being Ted. I remember Ted would always defend Triple H. In particular, I remember his work with The Rock. He was one of the people that I'm remembering saying was really good against The Rock. And I remember he always hated everything to do with Foley. And would completely dismiss, because I remember specifically the Royal Rumble of 2000, Triple H, Mick Foley. It was a really, really good hardcore match. And, that was an example of Foley saying that, hey, I tried to elevate Triple H. He won that match. I tried to make him look strong, and he beat me really hard and blah blah blah, and the crowd was loving it. And I remember telling Ted that, and I remember he just dismissed the whole thing. Like, nah, Triple H was already well over at that point. He didn't need fucking Foley, without saying fucking, of course, because he didn't swear as much back then.
Yeah, there was a definite point where Ted gave up with the self-censoring.
When did that happen, by the way? Because that was when I was gone. That's like he's doing it now fairly regularly from what I can tell.
It's difficult to put it down. It definitely happened in the last 4 years, I would say.
Okay, which is funny that it's been that long since I really regularly interacted with most people other than... well, no, I guess it's only been about a year since the forum died. But then I was never talking wrestling that much with you guys, I guess, so...
Yeah, we're a month away from the anniversary of the forum dying. How about that?
And you said that it was just it was in between the last Conan session and the one here where you saw evidence of Clown going and like manually shutting off the old forum. Was that correct?
Yeah, because for a while he's had it just locked where it's just him, but now while I was fiddling around with the server on the laptop has its Google Chrome homepage is still set to the old forum, so it brought it up and said, this forum has been deleted by its admin.
Oh.
If you want to make your own Pro Boards forum, click on this.
So he actually straight up deleted it then. That's I wonder if he archived it then, because as we've discussed before, it meant a lot to him to keep all that. I wonder if he literally
Yeah,
last year kind of came to terms with just letting it go.
yeah, I would have to imagine he still archived it. He was so obsessive about that.
He was, yeah, I would say he was pretty anal about it. You know, I definitely understood. I'm kind of the guy who likes to, you know, have archives of things and stuff like that as well. But that particular, yeah, he was really big on that. He was really mad whenever anyone would do any. I mean, he was mad whenever anyone would delete their account because that would fuck up. Oh, it'll fuck up the pictures when I go back through the old pages or whatever. I won't be able to see who made the post. You know, that was a big deal to him. That really agitated him when people would do that. So I left on purpose to doing exactly that.
Yeah.
Not vindictive, but
Well,
at that point, I was so fed up with him. That was the final straw. And it was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm taking it here. Close my account. Boom. Done. You'll never see who wrote these posts again. It'll say deleted user or whatever. Fuck you.
you remember that was how I protested
Yeah, I do
by
remember that. Yeah.
deleting all of my shit, and then he went and announced publicly in the random thread, well, Alex, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and cut this recording. We don't need to be going. We've already gone over this drama stuff on video anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut the video here.
Right.
See you later, folks.